Monoprice Mini Delta V2 3D Printer. I had high hopes for this dirt-cheap 3D printer with a tiny footprint. It's usually under $200, down to $149 as of right now, and requires no additional assembly. And I do like it, but it's for a specific audience. This is not the great low-cost entry-level printer I was hoping for. It required some tweaking and troubleshooting to get up and running. The included maker's card was so cheap and corrupted it never worked. The built-in Wi-Fi was never able to get on my network, and the machine's arms got caught on some poorly installed plastic wire covers. I just ripped the paper-thin covers off. But once I had all the problems ironed out, it was a reliable little machine for quick jobs. It would make a great second 3D printer, or if you need to fit one into a small space. I especially liked the auto-leveling, which worked well, and the color touchscreen, which is sometimes a feature that gets chopped from low-cost models. If you're willing to put a little effort into getting it set up correctly, it's a great printer for the price. ANYCUBIC Vyper 3D Printer. The new ANYCUBIC Vyper FDM printer attempts to be both an affordable 3D printer and easy to use. It's a tricky needle to thread. Plenty of 3D printers offer automatic bed leveling and calibration to make sure prints come out even and firmly anchored to the print bed. This, however, is the first time I've seen a 3D printer run its bed leveling once, with zero manual input from me, and be totally good to go. I printed a 3D test file from the included South Dakota card within minutes of powering on, and I've never seen a first print from a 3D printer come out so perfectly. ANYCUBIC Photon Mono supports resin printing with LCD-based slot printing. Monoprice Select Mini 3D Printer V2. Despite the low price, this is a pretty damn full-featured 3D printer that supports any type of filament including plastic filament. It is my favorite affordable 3D printer first step for testing the 3D printing waters. Print quality and printing speed are excellent, but there will be a good amount of trial and error in your first few prints. Just be sure to purchase extra filament since you'll use up the included sample roll very quickly. Vinci Junior Pro Wireless 3D Printer. The ambitious Vinci Junior 1.0 Pro is a step-up printer with the big 6.9-inch square build surface and optional add-ons for both laser engraving and using specialized material like carbon fiber filament. However, the lack of built-in Wi-Fi is a major hassle, and for this price a non-heated print bed is a serious omission. Some of the company's printers are locked to proprietary filament, but this model is not, which is good, because the sample roll of PLA filament included in the box wasn't great. Despite some extra troubleshooting required during setup, I liked the modular nature of the printer, its big, easy-to-use buttons, and frankly, the cheerful bright orange color. Amazon has a slightly updated version that's a little cheaper, but alas, in boring old gray. ANYCUBIC Photon Mono 4K Resin 3D Printer. If you're set on a resin printer, this is the best 3D printer for you. Resin printers are the next step up in rapid prototyping design technology when you want your printing to look as high quality as anything assembled in a factory. Just be warned, the liquid resin is harder to work with, and it requires both good ventilation and a portable UV light to properly cure. This model is extremely popular with board game hobbyists who want to print pro-looking miniatures, and sometimes you'll see it fall in price. It's currently listed at $340 on Amazon, but you can apply a $50 coupon at checkout that brings the price down to $289. Monoprice Voxel 3D Printer, black-gray with removable heated build plate. This is my go-to best 3D printer for balancing price, easy use and print quality. Setup is easy, and I had it assembled and was ready to start printing in less than 30 minutes after opening the box and gathering materials. Flashforge made this consumer 3D printer, but Monoprice sells its own version of the same hardware as the Monoprice Voxel. Creality CR30 3D printer. A word of warning, the CR30 is not for the beginners out there. It is a complicated machine, and you will need some previous 3D printing knowledge to really get the hang of it. It's also a very different beast, and instead of printing on a static-sized build plate, it uses a conveyor belt to create an endless Z-axis. That lets you print very long things, or lots of things over and over again. If you are a cosplayer looking to make weapons or large armor pieces, the CR30 gives you a lot of room to create. I've managed to print Squall's Gunblade from Final Fantasy VE as well as the Whisper of the Worm from Destiny 2. Both were printed in 2 halves and attached together. It's great for small businesses looking to mass-produce small parts, and with just 2 CR30s you could create a small empire on Etsy or Shopify.